subject here to discuss that and a whole lot more. Washington Post political reporter Amber Phillips joining us from the Washington Post newsroom. Amber, we do appreciate the time. First, with regard to last night's characterization of the burgeoning email scandal on the part of Secretary Clinton, Donald Trump went to a place from which there really is no return. What do you make of the comparison to Watergate?
Yeah, I think Donald Trump feels like Hillary Clinton has given him the leverage to be able to say this. The reason being there's so many convoluted headlines about the FBI's investigation, what they found, what we know, what we don't know, that Donald Trump feels like he can say this stuff, make a comparison to Watergate, I mean, the political scandal of all political scandals, and kind of get away with it because it's just quite frankly confusing, you know, what Hillary Clinton has done or hasn't done with regard to her private email server and the Clinton Foundation. So Trump clearly feels like he has a lot of ammo there, quite frankly.
Well, and then he steps to the lectern in moments today to deliver the speech regarding foreign policy. And again, specifically national defense. He is expected to call for an increase in defense spending overall. But specifically, what else do we expect to hear from him?
Listen, I think it's going to be more Clinton, Clinton, Clinton. He's billed this speech, obviously, as an elaboration of his own foreign policy and defense policy. But time again, we've seen Trump be lax on specifics and say, oh, those will come later. Instead, make the case for why he is a better commander-in-chief than Hillary Clinton. I expect him to talk a lot about the clearest difference between the two, which is regime change. You know, Hillary Clinton was involved in trying to oust leaders in Syria and in Libya. Donald Trump thinks that's a really bad idea. I expect him to hammer that home today.
With regard, again, he is also, we do know he will be speaking about her military adventurism, as well as asking generals to submit a plan to defeat ISIS within the first 30 days of a Trump presidency beginning. Meanwhile, this speech and Hillary Clinton's response later today comes at a very at an inflection point. So many polls over the last month have shown Hillary Clinton with a comfortable lead, a lead, though, that recent polls have suggested has all but evaporated. What level of concern do we think there is inside the Clinton campaign?
Yeah, well, I think when you're leading by last month, it was 8, 9, 10 points in national polls, and it's down to 1 or 2 or nothing, you're naturally concerned. But that being said, I think the Clinton camp is helping themselves sleep at night by saying this race is won and lost in the states, right? That's how we vote for president. Each state votes for its choice for president. And in almost every battleground state you can think of, Clinton is leading Trump, sometimes by a lot, sometimes by double digits. And so I think that's where I'm continuing to look to see the state of the race. Is she still ahead in Virginia, in Florida? Can she gain some ground in Iowa, which is one swing state where Trump is ahead? Because that's the bottom line of this race, is Trump needs to win more states than Mitt Romney won in 2012. And right now, he's not ahead in those.
And that very narrow path to victory has spooked many lawmakers, several of whom have pledged their support to Hillary Clinton. You've actually written about this very recently. In addition to the top Senate Republicans who've pushed in for Hillary Clinton, we're seeing more lawmakers perhaps looking to protect themselves. What is the state, then, of the down ballot effect that Donald Trump appears to be having?
I think Republicans are absolutely terrified right now. The best example I can give is Senator John McCain, who's in a potentially difficult re-election battle. He won his primary, you know, supporting Donald Trump, and a day later, he ran a YouTube ad saying, basically saying, I think Hillary Clinton is going to be president, and I'm going to be a good check and balance on her. John McCain is saying he thinks Donald Trump is going to lose, and he needs to take a big, giant step back from Donald Trump if he wants to be able to hang on in his own state. I think you're going to see that play out more and more and more in lots of difficult Senate races, even in House races. House Speaker Paul Ryan has hinted he's going to use this strategy. So it suggests that congressional Republicans are not as are not as thrilled about recent polls showing Donald Trump catching up to Hillary Clinton's national lead. They still think he's going to lose.
We then have at least three more big moments for these two candidates to at least delineate the differences between themselves. We are looking ahead then fewer than 20 days to the first one of them, the first presidential debate. What can you tell us about the debate prep that certainly seems, if nothing else, to be vastly different between the two campaigns?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to point out is Hillary Clinton is practicing like Hillary Clinton does, right? My understanding is she's getting briefings. She's reading everything she needs to know. She wants to come across as polished, professional, presidential. My understanding is Donald Trump has plans to just kind of wing it. It's how he performed in the debates during the primaries, where, interestingly, he had a really strong start, and then he'd kind of fade in the background, let everyone else bicker around him and over him. You can't do that with just two people. So I'm so fascinated to see how Donald Trump's strategy of just winging it is going to play out in not one but three debates.
Yeah, I think roughly 100 million Americans may share your interest, particularly come September 26th. Amber Phillips there in Washington. Very much appreciate the time and the insight.
Thank you.